The winter evening was unusually quiet, the kind of silence that presses against the chest, heavy and unrelenting. The streets were slick with rain, reflecting the neon signs of the few shops still open, their flickering light trembling like a heartbeat. In the corner of a dimly lit alley, a man sat alone in his wheelchair, his back hunched, hands trembling slightly as he gripped the worn handles. His name was Amir, a man whose life had been scarred not just by fate but by a cruel accident years ago that had left him paralyzed from the waist down. He was used to being invisible, accustomed to passing through life as if he were a shadow. But that night, the shadows that found him weren't of loneliness, they were of menace. A gang of young men, brimming with arrogance and cruelty, spotted him and saw an easy target. They sneered, shouted, and circled him like predators, tossing insults that cut deeper than any physical wound could. Amir's heart raced, not just from fear but from the helplessness that had long been a constant companion. And in that instant, the world felt colder, crueler, and unbearably unjust. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to channel name to join a community that believes in the power of human goodness. The gang's laughter echoed down the narrow alley as they pushed Amir's wheelchair slightly, testing how far they could humiliate him. He tried to shrink back, to make himself smaller, but there was nowhere to hide. Each shove, each mocking laugh, was a reminder of the life he had lost and the dreams that had been stolen. Yet even in the deepest pit of fear, something inside Amir refused to break. He remembered his mother's voice, the story she used to tell him about courage and standing tall, no matter the odds. And so, he straightened his back as much as his body allowed, his eyes lifting to meet the cruel gaze of the gang. There was no strength in numbers here, no escape, but the human spirit has a way of clinging to hope even when it seems impossible. The wind carried a distant roar, a sound that seemed almost too sudden, too strong to be ordinary. Heads turned as the unmistakable rumble of engines grew louder, shaking the street like the heartbeat of a giant awakening. One by one, 20 female bikers appeared, riding in formation with precision and power that made the gang's laughter falter. Their leader, a tall woman with a commanding presence and fiery determination, stopped her bike a few feet from Amir, her gaze sweeping over the men like fire over dry grass. The bikers didn't just arrive, they announced themselves, each roar of their engines a declaration: cruelty would not go unchallenged tonight. The gang, once confident, now shifted nervously, sensing the sudden shift in power. Amir could barely believe his eyes. These women, strangers yet so fearless, had come not for show or spectacle but for him. There was an unspoken understanding in their stance: no one would bully him, no one would touch him. For the first time in a long while, Amir felt the warmth of hope threading through his veins, a reminder that compassion and courage could manifest in the most unexpected forms. The leader stepped forward, not with anger, but with the calm authority of someone who had faced storms before and refused to bow. The gang, realizing they had misjudged the quiet courage of one man and underestimated the solidarity of many, began to retreat, their laughter replaced by silence tinged with fear and shame. As the bikers helped Amir to his feet, or rather, steadied him in his wheelchair, they wrapped him in blankets and offered warm words, gentle touches that spoke of safety and respect. It was a moment of profound human connection, a stark contrast to the cruelty he had faced moments before. Amir's eyes welled with tears, not from fear now, but from an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He had been rescued not by chance, not by luck, but by people who believed that standing up for someone weaker was a responsibility, not a choice. That night, Amir realized that true strength doesn't lie in muscle or aggression, it lies in compassion, in the courage to protect the vulnerable, and in the bonds formed by shared humanity. The story didn't end in the alley. Word of the encounter spread through the town like wildfire, a tale of courage and solidarity that inspired others to act, to protect, to believe that change is possible even in the smallest acts of kindness. Amir, once paralyzed not just in body but in spirit, now found a renewed sense of purpose. He joined the bikers in their community efforts, learning that empowerment comes in many forms and that courage is contagious. Every day, he carried with him the lesson that no one is ever truly alone and that sometimes, the world can surprise you with its kindness when you least expect it. As this story draws to a close, if it touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and comment below. Let us know how stories like Amir's inspire you, and don't forget to subscribe to channel name for more tales that remind us of the best of humanity. Your comment could inspire someone else today, because even small words of hope can ripple through the world like the roar of 20 fearless engines on a quiet, winter night.